Alright, so today we're going to build the axle for the blue truck. We had been using the green truck. We're going to do the blue truck here for this one. If we want to build the green one, we have a video for that one also. But let's see if we can't build this blue axle together. Some things we got to know about. First of all, there's one small dimension missing. There's this little notch that's right here that goes down 0.01. And that's where I'm going to start my drawing, so that's why that's important, so I know exactly where I want that to be. Also, I got to note how long this piece is, and this piece is 0.86 long. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to draw a construction line just down the center of this piece, and I'm only going to draw the top half. And by drawing the top half, I can then just use my revolve tool that's going to take and make this a circular object instead of using extrude where it'd make it more rectangular shaped. So let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to create a new part. Start my 2D sketch. I'm going to choose the XY plane. I'm going to choose my line, and I know it's going to be 0.86 inches long. That gives me that picture right there. I'm going to hit escape. And now from here, looking at my directions, I'm going to start, and I'll make this a little larger so we can see it a little better. I'm going to start at this point right there and go up, across, down, and then back through the part, finishing all the way back at this point again. So just basically starting here and all the way around the top of this part and putting everything in. So this shows that according to this, I've got a 0.25 as this line right here. This line is 0.3. That's the top of that notch. And I said that that notch is 0.01 tall. So recognizing that these are diameters and not radiuses, it means that we're going to have to do some dividing by 2 or tell the computer to divide by 2 to be able to get that to happen. So if that's, we'll be able to work that out here in just a second. So we're going to get this, and it says it's 0.05 from the end of the piece. So I'm going to pick, first of all, just my point tool. I'm going to pick my point. I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to dimension. I know that from the end of this line to this point is supposed to be 0.05. And I also know from the dimensions that it was 0.01 less than that 0.3 diameter, which means this dimension from here to here has to be 0.14. That's going to give us a chance to be able to get some things taken care of here. So now, from that point, I can connect here, and I'm going to go up 0.01. Gives me my line, and I'm going to come across until I hit that 0.05, which should be on my axis that's there. I'm going to hit enter, except it didn't draw the line, so we're going to try it again. 0.05. What is going on? There we go. All right. As you can see, it can mess with me as well as anybody else. So now, this line right here, from my center line going up, goes to a diameter of 0.25. So I'm just going to draw this line going down a little ways. I'm going to go to my dimension tool, and I'm going to dimension from my construction line to that line. So from that point to my construction, or to my center line, I'm going to make that 0.25 divided by 2. And just to double check my dimensions to make sure I got that right, the bottom of that is at 0.25, so it is 0.25 divided by 2. I don't have to worry about the math. The computer will do the math for me. So if I hit enter, it's going to make it that line. Now this line goes back this direction, goes back at horizontal from here to here. It shows it to be 0.25. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw that line using my line tool. I'm going to go across 0.25. Okay, and I know it's going to go down from there, but I'm not quite sure how far, so I'm going to go check my directions. And it says it's going to go down, so from the center, it's going to be 0.19 divided by 2. So I can just draw my line down, hit my dimension. I'm going to dimension there to the end of the line, and that's 0.19 divided by 2. Tells me 0.095, which I know is the right answer, but he puts that in the correct dimension there. So we go to here. Now this line, we've got this line down, so now we're going to go across. So if we go across here, we should get from this point, or from our end point to here, it shows is going to be 0.44. So I'm going to go and just draw a line going across. Doesn't matter the distance because I'm going to dimension it from this point to my end point, and that's supposed to be 0.44. So I'm at this point right here, which is this point right here on my piece. Now I'm just going to take it down to my center. All right, I'm not going to worry about how far down to take it because I know I'm just going to take it down to my center line. So I'm going to draw a line from here down to my center line. You can see that it's connected by that yellow dot there. I know I'm going to be able to draw a line. There's a line already there, but I'm just going to draw a line going across here. I don't know how far to draw that yet, but I know that I can dimension that point. This line is going to be 0.48. It's going to come to that point there. So I'm going to use my dimension tool. And in here is that one. So I want that to be 0.48. And so I've got that line there. It's marked with a little dot. It's hard to see, but we'll be able to draw a line from there going up. And so once again, I'm going to draw a line on that. Hit escape. I'm going to have to dimension. That line's going to go all the way up, so it's even with the 0.19. Now, a couple of different ways we can do that. We can dimension that, or if I choose, first to move that out of the way, if I choose, I could just take this and delete it, and I'm going to take this line, and I'm going to take it so it matches, and you'll see it connect with a dotted line there. You'll see the dotted line, and I can make mine so I know it connects with that line. And now I know that it's even. And I'm going to go across here. So to do that, I don't know how far to go, so we're going to go from here to here. That total distance from the very end of our piece is this one of being 0.81. So I'm just going to draw a line going across. Once again, dimension from the very end of my piece to here. Drag it down here and make that 0.81. From there, that piece goes up until it matches this 0.25. So if I'm lucky, I should be able to go straight up so it matches this line. So I'm going to draw a line here. And I see it pop up with that line right there. I can see the dotted line. So I have that. I know I'm going to go across to the end, and I can see it connect there. It's hard to see a little bit with all the stuff that's going on, but you can see it connect to that end line, dotted line there. And then I know from my directions that it's going to go up and match the 0.30 line. So I got to pay attention with this one. because I want it to match the 0.30 line. I may not be able to get it to match. I don't know if I'm going to hit it or not, just because I can't zoom in enough and still be able to see my piece. There it matches. Make sure I'm at 90 degrees. And it matches there. So I know I have that at the right place because those are now constrained to be horizontal with each other. So there's these little bumps here. We're not going to worry about those little bumps. We're going to come straight back across. So I know that's coming back to the 0.81. So it's going to match up with that line. So it's going to give us that opportunity. So we can draw this straight across and we can see that it lines up. There's a dotted line there. From there, that piece is going to go up until it's up to 0.57 diameter. So half of that is what we want. So we're just going to have to draw a line here, and we're going to have to use our dimension tool. From the top of that to our line there, we want that to be 0.57 divided by 2. That's going to go across until it gets to be 0.28 from the side. So we're going to draw our line, go across, dimension from the end of our line to the end of that line should be 0.28. It's then going to go down. It goes down, it doesn't meet anything, so at this point we're going to have to put that in. That's going to be 0.46 diameter, so we got to put that divided by 2. So we got a line coming down, dimension, the end of that line to that line, we said it was 0.46 divided by 2. And then from our dimensions and our directions, looks like we're going to go back this direction. So we're going to go back until it matches at 0.45 is what it shows there. So we got to go a line. We're going to go back this direction. Dimension from the end of that point to the end of our piece should be 0.45. We're getting close. And now we're going to go down. And once again, we're going to match. Nope, it's not going to match. We can see that it's a little high. So we're going to go doesn't quite tell us, so I'm going to assume once again it's that 0.01 that they're having trouble getting into the drawing. So instead of 0.30 divided by 2, we're going to do 0.32 divided by 2. So let's see if we can get that. So we're going to draw a line. Dimension 0.32 divided by 2. And then if we do this correctly, this line to where we started should be a little diagonal. We have that. There's one other line that's here to make this look solid, but it's actually hollow on the inside. But they put a plastic piece there just to make it look right. So we're going to draw this line from this point down to this line right here, making sure it's at 90 degrees. And if we've done things correctly, we should be able to finish our sketch. The revolve tool is next to the extrude tool. We should be able to pick revolve, and it highlights what we want. We're going to pick the word axis. We can pick it here or here and say this is our axis, and it gives us our axle. Last piece that goes on here is we have to put the cuts through there so the wheel can fit onto the axle.